All right, guys, so today I got an ECM in the mail from this box here. This customer sent their EIS and keys out to a company to make them an ESL emulator. The package was lost in the mail. So they found my videos. They see that I can make a ignition switch and key and ESL emulator by using the data in the ECM. The only thing I am missing is the SSID. So I need that SSID in order to make the instrument cluster sync with the EIS and the mileage will show up correctly. Otherwise, when this customer installs this with a different SSID, the EIS and cluster are not going to sync and the cluster is going to show 0 miles on it. Okay, so this is going to be my donor EIS and key. We're going to use that SSID for now until we can get a hold of the SSID from the original. I told the customer to get it scanned. Anybody with a decent scanner can scan the instrument cluster for the SSID. And once I get that SSID, I can then program it into the donor EIS and key, and it will sync with his cluster. But for now, we're sending this out, and they'll be driving around with 0 mileage showing on their cluster. But as long as they can use their vehicle, it's their daily driver, so they need it right away. So we're getting this out today. So we're going to get the data from this ECM using Abritus. We've got it hooked up right now. A couple of cables. We've got a 12-volt source. This is our 12-volt source here. That plugs in right over here on this cable. And then we've got our data, OBD2 data, going to our OBD2 cable into Abritus. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is just grab the original data from the ECM. So we've got Abritus opened up here. And we're just going to, we have it set to engine control module, and we're going to hit read. And let this read out. There's our data. We're going to save this data. We're going to call it FBS. That's just a security data. And then we're going to get the coding. We're going to read coding. Yeah, we're going to call this coding. Okay, so we have the data that we need from the ECM. Okay, so I'm switching over to VVDI just because I have both programs out. I could do the same with AVDI, but VVDI is actually a little quicker. So I already have the key password for this ignition switch. In order to get this, you got to go through a process. I have a key, so it takes like 6 minutes to get the key password. I got the key password. I got the erase password by just clicking on get. And now I'm going to do IR and renew EIS. We're virginizing this EIS. And we need to stick the infrared key in there to get this thing started. Okay. All right, so there it is. And we have erasing EIS success. Okay, now let's just go to OBD. Let's read the EIS data. And now we see that we're no longer activated, which means we can now write. The VIN is also empty here. We're going to write in the customer's VIN. Hang on a second. Phone call. Okay, so now we know that it is not activated. That means we can rewrite to this EIS. It's now a virgin or renewed EIS. So we're going back to Abritus now. So now we're going to go to the EZS right up here, and we're going to read it. Okay, so here is our not activated EIS. Okay, so now we have the key password. Is that correct? Let's check. No, that's not correct. We have a key password here. Copy this.
And so let's throw this key password in. And now we're going to save this. We're going to call this the donor EIS. And we're going to save this as FBS data. And then we're going to read coding and save this as coding. Okay, so VIN didn't show up because there is no VIN. It's a renewed EIS. We're not going to use the original VIN from that donor EIS. We're using the VIN from the ECM. We're going to personalize this now. So we're just going to go personalization. We're going to say no because we don't have a green, gray, orange key supplied from the dealer. We're going to say no. We do have the original ECM FBS data, and that's going to be just as good. Now it says it's missing the key password in your FBS data file, and it is missing the key password. We have the key password. We're going to update the file, hit OK, and then SSID. We're going to use the SSID from this EIS. For now, it's not going to work with his cluster, but for now, he'll be able to use this key. And we'll update this once he finds out what the SSID is on his instrument cluster. Okay, so now we're connected to ABProg. We're going to insert the AVDI. Let's see if I can get it in there. There you go. So we just inserted the infrared key, and now it says it's working, and that's it. The EIS is now personalized. Okay, so we're going to hit done, and it's reading the data. And now we should have the same key hashes and the service password as the ECM, which is the first unit that we scanned. So we can see that the service password ends in D307, right? D307. And let's go back down. And now we have D307 on the EZS data as well. So it is matched now with the ECM. It's not yet activated. To activate it, they make it easy for us on Abritus. We just click activate. Okay, and now we are activated, personalized, and it is synced with the ECM coding. So now all we have to do is make an extra key, and we're going to make an additional key. Actually, we're going to make an additional 2 keys because this customer paid for 2 keys. And then we're going to make an emulator, ESL emulator, and then he's going to have a system that will start his car. He's going to have zeros on his instrument cluster, but we will fix that when we get his SSID from that instrument cluster. Ideally, they would have it scanned, sometime soon, and then send me that SSID, and then I would just put it into this EIS, and there would be no problem. It'd be plug and play. The cluster would show the original miles on the car, and those miles would be transferred to the EIS. But this car is needed. It's needed to get to work ASAP. So we're shipping this out overnight today, and they'll receive it tomorrow morning. That's it for this one today, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.